Hey there! You're watching Pair of Dice Paradise, a YouTube channel that's all about board games. And YouTube's great and all, but are board games ready to make the leap into prime time? Well, over the past few years, the exposure of modern hobby board games has drastically increased from like just a little tiny bit to more than that. In fact, earlier this month, I was invited on a trip that even just a couple of years ago, I would have thought was impossible. I flew down to LA to participate in the recording of several board game related projects, and along the way, I was reminded of that universal truth that happiness is having an entire row of airplane seats all to yourself. And this gave me the opportunity to reflect on what was my own gateway back into modern hobby board games and what got me to start creating content about them. For me, it was a video that I stumbled onto early in 2012 by some guy named Tom Vassell from a YouTube channel called The Dice Tower. Well, 7 years ago, this guy Tom was a one-man operation, recording videos about board games and board game accessories in his spare time in front of some lopsided shelves in his garage. And of course, today, the Dice Tower's YouTube channel has over 200,000 subscribers, raises over $250,000 in crowdfunding each year, and has several full-time employees. One of whom is a gentleman named Corey Thompson, who, while not a full-time employee, does work as a correspondent for the Dice Tower News website. And it's this man, Corey, who would be my guide through my first day in LA, where he led me to the studio where the first 6 episodes of a television show about board games called Above Board was being recorded. Above Board hopes to be more than just another YouTube channel about board games. The pilot episodes are being recorded this month, will be edited and pitched to several companies this summer, with the possibility of hitting the airwaves this fall on some streaming video service. I got to sit in on the taping of 4 of Above Board's initial 6 episodes, and the whole way it's set up reminded me of The Daily Show, but for board games. There's a regular set of hosts and a group of various correspondents, some off-site, tongue-in-cheek interviews with publishers and other people in the board game industry, and then there's a set of recurring segments that also appear on the show. I was invited to record a debate in which 2 games that have almost nothing to do with each other go head-to-head to declare one of them the ultimate victor in the universe that day. And lo and behold, Tom Vassell was also there, recording several segments with the show's hosts as well. The brothers Murph, who live in LA, also stopped by to make a cameo appearances. And then Rodney Smith arrived from the channel Watch It Played, who would be my companion for the rest of the trip and reminded me why I usually avoid wearing plaid when I travel with him. Rodney also recorded some segments for Above Board, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how the final version of his pieces turn out. And then, seemingly as soon as we had arrived, it was time to move on to our next thing. So, after a quick change of shirt, we were off to our next destination. And on our way there, we met up with some other friends who live in LA and work in the television industry. The evening's discussion served as a reminder that games are something that can bring people from all sorts of different walks of life together. People that likely never would have met otherwise, and then turn those chance encounters over a game into lasting friendships. And that's a pretty powerful thing that a board game has the ability to do. At one point during the evening, this group chucked something over to me and gave me a gift that I have wanted for quite some time. And as inspiring to me as all of that was, it was still just the beginning. Because the very next morning, ready or not, Rodney and I were on our way to Lincoln and Nikki Damhurst's house to record an upcoming episode of Board Game Geek's Game Night Show.
In 700 meters, turn right onto Whitsett Avenue.
So, the most interesting, strange thing about driving through the California wasteland with Rodney Smith is that the GPS is all in metric.
That's right. That's a little bit of a change, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you pleased that the voice doesn't have a Canadian accent to it, though? 2.2 kilometers, eh? Hey, guy? How you feeling right now?
I'm a little tired.
Yeah. We're staying in an Airbnb.
Yes. A very cozy.
Very intimate.
Very intimate Airbnb.
Yeah. Because we just have like a room inside of somebody's home.
Yes. It's a very small room.
It's a small room.
And inside that small room is one even smaller bed.
Ventura Boulevard.
Yeah.
And then, but unfortunately, last night, I was a little nervous about us keeping other people awake and coming in late.
Yeah.
But the homeowners, they were up for quite a
The last time I looked at the clock, it was a little after 2 a.m.
And is that when they brought the whole gang of people in?
That's when everybody else got home, and then I got even louder for a while.
My favorite thing is the thing you said to me this morning when you were recounting the tale. And you said, well, at least it can't get any worse.
Yeah.
And then?
Then you rolled over with your face right here. It's like, oh, all right.
Oh,
Stand corrected, universe.
Well, so we're on the prowl to get some food. We need some
Yes.
food.
Shortly after our food arrived, Rodney dove into the rulebook for the game that we would be playing on game night. And when this man dives into a rulebook, it takes his full attention. He becomes unflappable. The man cannot be flapped. Then again, maybe it's because he managed to get more than 36 minutes of sleep the night before. And then, rules firmly in brain, we were back on the road on our way to Lincoln and Nikki's house to record our playthrough of Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth, which will be appearing on an upcoming episode of Game Night. And here's another spot where the surreal nature of this trip struck me. Here I am with this guy who lives just about as far away from me as possible on this continent, who, by all odds and statistics, I never should have met, recording a session of a board game for the YouTube channel of a website dedicated to board games, a website that enables quite a number of people to sustain the work that they do in this industry, including Rodney and I. The people that power this website, plus all the individuals that I have mentioned here, they're all a big part of why board games are being seen, being played, and being supported by more people than ever before. So what's next? Well, on the trip back home, I began to ponder this very thing. You know, is this what you're watching right now? Is this as good as it gets for board games? Or are we just on the cusp of the next big evolution in board game-based media? I don't know what's going to become of experiments that are going on, like Above Board, but the fact that this industry has reached a place where such a production is even being attempted is astounding. Opportunities to reach new audiences and hopefully introduce those audiences to this exceptional hobby so that they too can have an opportunity to make fantastic friendships that they otherwise may not have had. And then inspire those gamers to start creating content of their own that far surpasses what's being produced today. We'll see if any of that happens. But in the meantime, well, thanks for watching Pair of Dice Paradise. And take care. I'll talk to you again soon.